Alright, so in my last video, one of you guys said, are you ever going to review that croc wave? I really want to see you do that wave. And I was thinking, I really do want to do that wave. And I told the guy I was going to do it, thinking that I would eventually get to it. The reason why I haven't did it is because I didn't have enough Alfreds. I just came up on 2 more Alfreds today, so now I have 4 because I wanted 1 for each of the head. Here's the thing, we barely have any Alfred figures in our collections. I looked at my collection, I have, I think, 1 Alfred figure in my collection. So it's about time that they paid some respect to this guy, because he's a really cool character. I mean, yes, he's just some old man in a suit, but come on, he's Alfred, and you really can't get enough of him. Then they give you all the heads for every Alfred you would ever want. Basically, it's the comic book head, which that's the Alfred that you already have if you collect DC Collectibles or DC Collect. You have it when the head that when he turns into a villain, which I'll put all these heads on him. You also have like the old the old Michael Keaton Alfred right there, and then you have the TV show Alfred. So you basically get every Alfred you've ever wanted, at least every Alfred I've ever wanted. So thank you guys. I know it's your last set of toys. I'm really glad that you paid tribute to Alfred and gave us something cool to do with that. And we also have this KG Beast. Basically, he's like a hitman. They want to pay him to kill Batman. He's kind of like Bane, real similar. He's like Bane in a red. He's a new character in your collection. First time ever getting him, so I'm definitely excited. And then they do something kind of cool over here. You get the Batman, but he's really not Batman. This is the Dick Grayson. So this is like the Robin that turned into Nightwing version of Batman. So just to display this guy with the unmasked hat, holding the mask. Really cool that they did this. Yes, it's just another Batman, but it's really not Batman, but it kind of is Batman. Another thing that they did, they actually thought about something for once. So then they give you that. They give you a Red Hood, which I have tons of great Red Hoods. I won't pull out the Red Hood collection because I have another Red Hood that I need to review. So when I do that, it'll be a smaller video, and I'll pull out all the Red Hoods for that. This is the Jason Todd. So you got Tim Drake, Jason Todd. Then you have the Robin. They call him Red Robin, but we know that it's just Robin. You have the Tim Drake. So you got Tim, Jason, and Dick all in one set. That's really cool in all 3 different costumes. Like, the only way they could have did another thing is like to throw in like a Nightwing, but you kind of got Nightwing with this Batman, so I'm cool with that. Then you got Katana. I passed on the last multiverse Katana because she really sucked, and I stood my ground. I said I'm not doing it. Those toys suck too bad. They don't deserve shelf space in my toy room. Well, it's not even about the money because I saw her on clearance for like $3. I just didn't want that crap clogging up my shelves. I do have another Katana figure. I'll pull her out. We'll do a comparison. Man, that was quick. I just blew right through that. Now I'm trying to think if I can tell you guys something stupid or not. Screw it. Let's just get to these. So they're all opened up and lined up in my favorite to least of favorite order. So we're going to start down here with this Killer Croc. And yeah, we're going to do some comparisons, a little close-up. But first, the Killer Croc, man, they absolutely killed this thing. Like, he's right up there with the Clayface and the King Shark. That thing is just amazing. Then you got KG Beast. It's just whatever. It's a new character in my DC collection, so that's why he's my second favorite. And then you have the Alfred, and yes, I got all 4. I mean, this is the last hurrah, guys. I figured I may as well. And those things are really hard to come by, at least for me. I had a hard time scraping up to get 4 of those things. They make 4 different characters. They're almost all 4 new characters in your collection. The comic book one, we already have that one. The rest of them are basically new, so that's my 3rd favorite in the set. Then you have Katana. I passed on the last shitty Katana. I do have another Katana. I'll pull that out for a comparison. It's no big deal, but I still kind of like her. Then you have the Nightwing Batman. That's cool. I'm not real sure if they've did that before or not. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. If they did, I can't really remember. I mean, it's another Batman in the collection, to be honest, and that's why it's just fallen way down on the list. Then you have another Robin. I got tons of great Robins. This is another great Robin in my collection. Kind of no big deal. He's a good toy. If you don't have a good Robin, this would be a good one. And then you have the Red Hood. And Red Hood, I love Red Hood. The character, I went ahead and put the Robin mask on him instead of the Red Hood because I have other Red Hoods and I got more Red Hoods coming. He's by far last on my list because the guns don't come out of the holster. That's just crazy. Let's check these things out. Okay, so here's this Killer Croc lined up with the Clayface and the King Shark. I do have 2 of the King Sharks. They've made 2 different heads. So I got 2 of them. Luckily, they didn't make the other hands for the clay face, or I'd probably have 2 of those clay faces. But that would be kind of cool. I did want those other hands with the figure that never came out. I think it was at Robin. Maybe it's Robin that just did come out. But there's a Killer Croc. Here's a comparison for you. You kind of see the size. You can see how awesome these figures are. They killed it with this one. They really blew it out of the water with this one. And then once again, they did it again. If you're wondering, like, God, some of that looks kind of familiar or similar, well, yeah. The pants, the legs, I guess they got different feet. And this one has like kind of web feet. This one has more scale feet. But you can see the legs they're exactly the same. But I guess that does take away from the figure a little bit. The top of it's different. This one has scales on it. This one just has like smooth skin on it. And then of course everything else on the upper body is different. But I guess they share the same legs. It works. I'm totally cool with it. I guess we're never going to see that mammoth figure. That was one that I definitely wanted to see. This is them kind of going out. We'll go ahead and pull out a few of the Killer Crocs. Right, so I went ahead and pulled out the Killer Croc collection. I didn't pull out the animated ones. If I do that, man, I go all over the toy room, and I'm going to pull out a bunch more Killer Crocs. I just wanted to kind of show you like the regular version, not the animated version. These were like an old, I think these were like an old Mattel one, I'm pretty sure. This is just a repaint of this one. This one has a different head. Other than that, it's basically the same exact figure. If you turn around, you can see that this one has a hole that you can plug that hole out and put this tail in. I thought it was cool that they put a tail on Killer Croc. I know he normally doesn't have a tail, but it was kind of a nice, cool little touch. All the other ones, these were like DC Direct, DC Collectible. And then this one over here, I really like that one too. I thought they did a great job on that one. If I'm sitting here looking at it like, God, which one is my favorite? Like, they all kind of have different styles. I guess for like a basic comic book version of it, the new one is probably my favorite. So if you're going to get one, that would be the one. If you're counting like the video game one, then this one is definitely by far my favorite. That thing is really cool. That one I always thought just looked kind of weird. Let's go ahead and check him out real quick. As far as articulation goes, we don't need to waste any time on that. It's basically the same as the King Shark, I mean, there's nothing new here. If there was something new on the articulation, I'd go ahead and point it out. I'll just go ahead and show you the figure real quick. One thing that I don't like about it, same as the King Shark, is that thigh articulation. That just looks horrible. And the back of it, the scale work, the paint, they could have did a little bit more paint on it, but I mean, these days you're lucky to get something like this. The head sculpt on this thing is really good. Glad that they just did like one version. I'm glad they didn't do 2 different head sculpts and one with the tail, one without the tail, because then I'd have to buy 2, and God, that just starts to get crazy. But here's your Killer Croc, man. This figure is a must-have for your DC collection or just any action figure collection. This thing is just phenomenal. They hit this thing out of the park. I absolutely love it. The articulation, you see there's no peg holes for any of the pegs. That's one thing that I like about Mattel over Hasbro, is that they kind of do away with the peg holes, and now they kind of did away with themselves. Let's check out the next one. Alright, so for a comparison, I pulled out a Bane. I got tons of great Banes. This one's one of my personal favorites, so I went ahead and pulled him out. You can see there's a really big size difference. I do have Banes that were smaller, but I really don't like those figures nearly as much. We'll go ahead and check him out really quick. On the articulation, he does just have a single knee. That kind of sucks, but there's no pin, so I'm good with it. It also has a single elbow, no pin. I like it. I know a lot of you guys probably won't. It has this little bullet thing that will come out of the gun. It doesn't shoot. That would be cool, but that's a nice little touch that they did that. Has another hole up here, but you can't really do anything with it. As far as the rest articulation goes, I guess it breaks apart at the middle when you try to do like an ab crunch or whatever, but it does have like a soft rubber shirt, so you kind of can get a little bit of an ab crunch out of it there without it breaking apart. And then as far as the thighs go or the hips, that articulation, man, I mean, they usually do a little bit better on the articulation. This figure isn't really a good example. I think the articulation on this thing doesn't look that great and doesn't work that great, but he's still my second favorite just because he's KG Beast. It's the first time ever getting him in your collection, and that's something that I always appreciate. He does come with 3 knives, and all the knives come out, so you can put one in each boot, which I definitely like. So they can do this with the knives, but they can't make the red mask. guns come out of the holsters, and they even give you a gun. We'll get to that in a second. Here he is. I think he's pretty cool. He's my second favorite. All right, now we're checking out my third favorite in the set, and this Alfred. I definitely like this. Man, I thought that was a really cool touch that they put all these extra heads in there. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at the comic book one. You should already have a comic book one in your collection. A side-by-side comparison. You can see that both of these are both really good toys. I do like the DC collectible one a little bit more than this other one. This one's a little bit moderned up, like the no pins and stuff. If you haven't seen this one, here's a quick look at it. You don't have to go on eBay to dig him up anymore, because now you can just hopefully go to Walmart and pick one of these things up, which are not very easy to come by. He does come with a little glass that sets up on his tray. And Toy Shiz said they should have put a little plug on there, and I definitely agree. And they also should have put a tea set on there, a glass. Man, they obviously just had that thing laying around somewhere. That's the reason why we got it. And it does have the unmasked cow. That is definitely cool. I bought tons of these. I got tons of extras. You can use that thing for anything. Definitely glad that they added it in. This thing, man, it's like, I love this thing. It's pretty much a perfect action figure. If you look at the articulation on it, there's no pins on this toy anywhere, and that's something that means a lot to me. I love that. This is the thing that I'm going to miss about Mattel more than anything, is the no pin articulation. Other toy companies could do it, but they choose not to do it. Sometimes they do it, but not very often, not often enough. And then you have the one from the old TV series. They used to make this whole really cool set of the TV series. I have the whole set. Maybe I'll take a picture of it, put it at the end of the video. Those are like a really smaller scale, like almost like a 6-inch scale. You see the Batman, he's standing 6 inches. Then the Alfred's too big for that. But if you did get this old, I'm pretty sure this was like a NECA Batman here, of the same Batman. He goes with this one. The scale works, everything works. I don't know if you're lucky enough to get one of these or not. I know they're pretty hard to come by. These things, these Batman, the joints, like if you look at that thing too hard, the arms will break off. So if you do get one, don't even pose it. Just barely take it out of the package, get it standing, and then leave it alone. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at this head. I definitely thought that was pretty cool. I like the glasses. Man, it's just cool. It's just such a cool thing that they went ahead and did this as our last hurrah, because who knows when McFarlane's going to get around to making an Alfred. And that's another thing about this McFarlane making these toys. Guys, his first set, man, I think I might be done with DC. Like, it just doesn't, the future does not look bright for DC action figures at this point. DC collectibles, seems like they're kind of over it. Then you have this one, this one will go with this Batman. Once again, this was like a NECA Batman. I thought they killed it with this. I remember this thing came with like a DVD, and then everybody said they weren't going to make it. Then they ended up making it, and then you could pick this thing up. This is a must-have. If you missed out on this, don't worry about it too much, because Mezco is going to make one similar to this one. I don't know if it's going to be as good as this one, but I know it's going to cost a lot more than this. This thing was like 20, 25 bucks, and Mezco is going to be like 90 bucks. And then you need Gavin Alfred to go with them. So I definitely think that that was pretty cool. Just bumped the camera. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get it back over here. And then as far as the Alfreds go, this is like from the more current Batman films. Just one more Alfred. And I do have a bunch of animated ones, but like I said before, I don't really pull those out. It's like mixing oil with water, because then it's just like, when do I stop? And then here's a villain version of Alfred. I thought that that was kind of cool, that there's like flesh tone on the back of his head, like you just put makeup on the front of it. Pretty cool, nice little touch. It's a character that you thought you would never get in your collection. Now you have it. And you got a bunch of Alfreds. So now your Alfreds, if they never make Alfred again, I think we're good. Totally covered on Alfred. All right, so here's the other Katana figure I have. This is the DC collectible. I don't know if you guys have this in your collection, so I'll go ahead and give you a quick look at it. I was never really a big fan of this. I didn't like the gray flesh tone on the skin. I mean, it's a cool figure. It definitely looks good. It looks good on the shelf. I'm glad that I have it, but I just didn't really feel like it scratched my Katana itch, and now they have this, and I think this is an absolute perfect version of her. The one from the Suicide Squad, God, that thing was just garbage, so I didn't get it. It also comes with the fisted hand that you can plug in there if you don't want her to hold her sword, and she doesn't have a place to hold her sword, so I don't even know why they put this crap in the package. It seems completely pointless and useless. And once again, you have an action figure that looks nice and clean, no big pin holes anywhere on it, single elbows, double knees, love that. The ankle pivot, everything on it is good. You've seen it before, I don't feel like showing it to you again. The ab crunch here underneath the breastline, that definitely looks good. No like ab crunch or swivel, but it's a female figure. To me, less articulation, the better. Nice butt on her. It's a good looking action figure. I definitely like it. It's my favorite content. If you're only going to get one, this would be the one to get unless you want one with gray skin. Alright, this video is getting kind of long and these figures are starting to get a little boring, so we're just going to bolt these last three together real quick. You got this Dick Grayson Nightwing version of Batman. I kind of like him. He looks kind of skinny. I don't think they did it on purpose. I think this is just a body that they have laying around. He does come with the masked head if you want to throw that on there. If you do throw that on there, I think this figure is just a complete and total waste. The whole cool thing about him is that you get the Dick Grayson unmasked head to put on him. And you get the unmasked, the cowl like down. God, that's so cool. They should do that with every unmasked figure. Like, that is such a cool accessory. I absolutely love that. That's why I kind of like this figure. You know, he's definitely the best out of these three. I thought that they did this before. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't give you like an unmasked version of it. The cape is a little soft. Like, you don't really get much cape. If you fold it out, it doesn't really fold out very far. It's still a very small cape. But it looks good. I like the real cloth versus the plastic. I always like that a little bit better than the plastic. He's a cool looking figure. I kind of think you need to get him. I mean, you got to get all these to get that killer croc. You really don't have a choice. He does come with fisted hands, which is completely pointless to me because then he can't hold his staff. So I went ahead and just put him on both of them. The staff actually works out pretty good. It's nice, stiff plastic. It's not all bent up like they normally are. The articulation on this, nice and clean, no pins. Single elbow would have been nice. I guess it's double elbow. My bad. I didn't even see that. I was just thinking that it was... because this one is single elbow and then that one is double elbow, so I thought they just did it. So double elbow, plenty of articulation on that. The ab crunch is not my favorite, but it kind of works. This one is my favorite now that they're side by side. I like this version of the ab crunch way better than this version. I wish everybody would do it. I don't hate this one, but this one I definitely like. This figure, definitely my least. He's got these really cool guns. It even comes with gun hands, like. And then you can't take the guns out. Like, why would you even make this figure if the guns aren't going to come out? It's just a complete waste. That's just really, it sucks. It ruins the whole figure. I mean, it's going to look good on the shelf. The thing that saved it for me was that they give you like the Robin head to put on there, which I definitely think is cool. And then you can hold the mask. So that's a nice little touch. It's going to look good on the shelf. The boots are good. It's a good looking action figure. I really do like it. I just can't believe that they give you gun hands and no guns to put in them. That's it. Pictures at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys.